There we go. Get all of this into position. I'm liking it. Let's build a workshop. I would like you to make books. All the time. Forever and ever. Right. Let's adjust this then. And for the time being as well, I'll pop this. As much as it's painful to do, but we just don't want that in there, and we can get rid of it easily enough. Right, down here though. Bring that all the way down onto this level. There we are. Do need to use a grabber specifically to tell it only to take the leather. Now this may fail because of the fact that there is fertilizer in there as well to take, but it may succeed. Let's hope for the latter. Right, I'm going to build this out. Oh, damn it. So it looks correct. I'm going to want a few bits and bobs. There we go. And we will want these to be books. And there we go. We are now storing books, or regular old books. That's fantastic. I like that a lot. And I really like the aesthetic of this little place. So add some flowers in there. Some wildflowers. That's pretty. I like it. Okay. So we've got a little book production going on. And the books themselves I could sell for 4. But no. No. We're going to go a little bit better than that. Right. I'm going to need... Well, at this point, I need to decide how I'm going to apportion the books. Do I just deliver them? And kind of split it between a few different enchanting areas? I think that may, in fact, be the better way to do it. Or do I first make them enchanting books and then deliver them to multiple enchanters? It's a difficult one. Now, right now, this is the only one that I'm really losing a lot of money on, but I believe I'm also losing on purple. Well, actually, no, I'm not. Okay, well, if I'm only losing on red, then I guess we could just focus on red. The strength spellbook is not a difficult one to make. Okay. this should be set up for strength spellbook specifically. There we go. And this is now what I would like you to deliver to the specialty goods store. Right, we're going to need a recharger. It needs both. Oh. Wow. Hey, Splatty, how you doing, buddy? And hello, Raiders, all 500 odd of you. How are you doing? And what were you playing, more to the point? Hey, Oshayala, thank you very much. Second month, best month. What the hell? You didn't know I stream? My God. I need to do a better job of letting people know I stream. I'm starting to see what Splat was saying. Way back when he started to get really regular with it, and I was like, well, everyone must know you stream. He's like, actually, no. Like, virtually no one does. I say every single video I stream. No one knows. I'm really genuinely starting to see what he meant by that. It takes a while. Stone Shard. Ah, isn't that roguelike? Open world Skyrim roguelike. Yeah. Yeah, I was glancing at that really recently. I may have to check that out. There we go. Right. Well, you caught me while I'm trying to fix a rather dangerous deficit in my red coin production. For those of you who don't know what this game is, we've had many conversations about how to describe this game. It's not an easy game to describe, I'll be honest with you. You wouldn't be far wrong if you said it was like games in the sort of genres like Factorio, but it doesn't really lend itself to a straight comparison. It is not Factorio. It's not trying to be. And that's really one of the biggest things that I can say about it, is that whilst it's in the similar vein, it's in the same genre, the games are trying to be different games. This one is much more relaxed, like a lot more relaxed. There's no particular like enemy or anything like that. You're just basically making a town. And to put things in perspective, you just want people to be happy, basically. You just want your peeps to be happy peeps. And that really goes a long way to pointing to what this game is trying to be. It's a town, well, it's not really a colony management game, but you're trying to run a town and to meet the needs of your people. And a lot of it is like production line sort of stuff. So if you like the gradually ramping up production capacities and production chains is the word I'm looking for there, of games like Factorio, and this is in the same vein. If you found Factorio got a little bit too focused on ratios and percentages and the proper way to automate stuff, then this may be a better fit. It's got the same sort of feel, but it's a lot more gentle. Also, it's a very pretty game, and it's in 3D, which actually makes for... if spaghetti factories make your brain hurt, this would probably make your brain bleed. Because adding an extra dimension allows you to go into a whole new level of chaos. I think it's glorious, but, you know, I'm a little bit mad. So take it for what it's worth. All right, let's get these all split up properly, and I need pushes to make sure they go into the first recharges in the queue. Also, it's kind of, you know, the sort of production change you do here is you're farming grain, you're making bread for your peeps, you're making reinforced planks, turning it into mining picks so that your mines work better. Eventually, you get to, like, steam power, and you start to give your workshops power so that they work a little bit better, a little bit faster. And then eventually get the magic, and then you harnessing the power of earth, fire, wind, and water to do all kinds of crazy nonsense. And you start making your people like cure spellbooks and strength spellbooks, and they don't actually do anything with it. They just buy it from you for an exorbitant amount of coins. And yeah, you use coins to buy more land. So you can have the world be infinite. It's a procedurally generated world, and as you go, biomes are added in, things like that. The coins are used largely for that, but they're also used in production. This is why I'm losing red coins. I used to be very, very wealthy in red coins because I sold things that were worth it. They're generally tools and clothing and stuff like that. Anything you would sell in the general goods store to your peeps will get you red coins, typically. But I've recently started making a lot of stuff that uses red coins, and I've been making more of it than I've been selling, so hence the deficit, which I'm trying to correct by making spell books, which will hopefully fix that for me. On that note, I need to hook up some of these spell books. Right, I can filter for regular mana, and I can then deliver red mana there, I would say, and then filter these back out around there. I need the filters. This is actually a really, really simple one. This is my mana pipe network, and I just need to make sure I'm delivering fire mana and regular mana, or rather, mana power and fire power into the enchanter. So you can use the mana power to turn a regular book into an enchanted book, and then the fire power to turn the enchanted book into a strength spell book. And then I'm going to sell those. And hopefully, that'll make all my red coin woes go away. We will see about that one, though. But first, I need to kickstart the process by actually delivering some, all kinds of mana, really. Let me go and grab some... Actually, you've already got a load of mana. Oh, I don't need that much, though. Go and drop some off. I need to get some regular mana from somewhere. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one. T Winters, thank you very much for gifting the sub there, mate. It's very, very kind of you. Right, you can go back and actually just drop stuff off in there. Has my fire mana run out over here? No, we're still producing a load of it. I need to get some regular mana down here. There should be oh, there we go. Loads of regular mana over there. Never mind, we're good. You, go steal some from this silo and then deliver it. If you look in here, fire mana doing its thing. But I do need the regular mana too, which is unfortunate. Now the problem here is I've got way too much fire mana in the system. So I'm going to have to delete a bunch of that. And connect that up so that the mana gets out of the way, so I can actually fill this with white mana. And once we've actually got mana moving through, everything should start moving through properly. No, don't need you. Oh, did you offload everything? Oh, thank goodness, that would have been awful. You can just drop that off, thank you. Yeah, good. But there is a little bit of like programming blocks, kind of like you have with combinators in Factorio and games like it. So you can do like computations if they're not, etc, etc. And you can do some smart stuff with it, or you can just kind of lazily take your time. Unlike a lot of games which have like a survival bent, especially games where there might be an enemy present and a bit of a time pressure, this game has none of that. There absolutely is no time pressure here. Right now, I've made a bit of time pressure, but in the absolute worst case scenario, I could just stop producing the stuff that's using red coins. My peeps would get a little bit unhappy, but they won't die. They just stop being happy, which means that they produce less. Happiness simply increases their production abilities. And so, at worst, you might soft lock yourself from progressing, but at the very worst, all you need to do is stop producing stuff, dial it back a tiny bit, wait for production to get back in full swing, and then start progressing again. You never hard lock yourself in this game, and you can't lose. You can't ever be reduced. You do a bunch of research. Currently, we're researching air temple. I mean, we're pretty late game at this point. This is the tech tree. And certain things lead into other things, so on and so forth. There's a progression through it. But largely, we're doing stuff now for the sake of doing it and enjoying ourselves. We kind of had a little bit of a fun narrative going through the game as we developed it. As this place started getting much more industrialized, and I started making literally industrially farming chicken and cows and things, we decided some of the people probably not in for that kind of life. They don't want the crazy grind and want to break away. They want to go and have more of a nomadic life out in the desert where things are simple, and people are humble. And they don't take more than they need. And so our magical town started to grow. It wasn't really going to be a magical town initially. It was just going to be a simpler town. But this is the town that has all of the pretty stuff and most of the deeply enchanted things. An idyllic life, indeed. A charmed life, some would say. This is all steam power. This is all mana power. Over here we have our mana reactor producing some of the end game resources, Omni stones. Which I am actually running out of. Why? Oh, now it's air mana I don't have. Really? It's not one thing, it's the next. We've got boats delivering, because the game, certain things initially are, the resources are randomly generated, procedurally generated rather, and many of the temples you have to expand out to find, and some of them are just in really annoying places. So we've slowly, carved this whole area there I basically carved out a river so that I could move materials back and forth. But I quite like the procedural generation in a way. You can actually affect this as well. I chose to have quite a lot of difficult map styles, like this one, craters and tall mountains and things. But you can tell the map generator, tend towards nice, gentle hills or just plains and so on and so forth. So it'll still be procedurally generated, but it'll be much more forgiving. Whereas I enjoyed the kind of the organic sprawl that happened between mountains and valleys. Right, how's everything going? You keep nicking all of the air crystals, don't you? Yeah, I thought so. How's this doing? I think all we're waiting on now is Omni stones. So I'm going to need to set up another delivery point to get Omni stones up to the Magic Forge. Either that... I wonder, can we move Omni stones through the mana grid? No, I don't think you can. Omni stones are an item rather than anything else. So probably not on that one, unfortunately. So I am going to have to set up another little area for us to deliver Omni stones to. And then ultimately I'm going to want the Omni-pipes to be delivered to a barn so I can build with them. And at that point, we've more or less done everything that we can do. The Omni Temple is the be-all, end-all technology. There's nothing beyond that you can research. It's the end of a very long tech tree. But you really don't need it. By the time that you can make an Omni Temple, you don't need an Omni Temple in not so many words. It's really there to give you something else to do if you fancy doing it. Not because you have to. You can be really creative with the game, and you can make a very pretty little area if you want to, or you can just build as you want, or rather as you feel you need. Yeah, let's have a little dock out here once again. There we are. Right, we'll have little silo, and I think once more we're gonna go for another crate over there. The crate is actually functional. I'm just using it as a prop for prettifying the landscape a bit. If you've watched any of my Let's Plays, yeah, this shouldn't be a surprise to you. Right, okay, so from this silo, we're going to need to get the Omni stones up. I mean, I could just carve a way up, or I could be a little bit more creative with using silos to get up an elevation. Hello, Punzisto. I'm glad you were watching the Cataclysm series. Hope you enjoyed it, mate. And yeah, I dislike it when the land is too fat. That being said, especially early on, I think, you know, if you're just trying to learn the game, play it however makes it fun for you. If struggling is not fun, then don't play a game that makes you struggle. You know, it's kind of the whole play to have fun thing. Don't feel that you need to play a certain way to justify anything to anyone. You certainly don't. I could just do it up like this. You know what? For the sake of getting this done reasonably soon, we'll do it like that. Yeah. But you can do throughout this series. Actually, I've showcased a couple of interesting ways you can solve logistics problems like climbing elevations and the like. Let's grab this. And at this point, I'm going to have to get rid of these resources off the ground. I'll just draw this out. And I think... Oh, damn it. Didn't mean to do that, actually. I mean, I did mean to do it. What I meant to say is I shouldn't. There we go. And we'll take that around again. Boink. There we are. Okay, so with that, we should be able to just restrict this only to accept Omni stones. And once we get a delivery of those, we will finally be producing Omni pipes. And then I can showcase transporting items through Omni pipes. At that stage, you can do all sorts of things like just build a large Omni-pipe item transport network, and you don't need to have conveyors all over the place anymore. I still like them, so I probably still have them, or rather I'd have like a mixture of them all. Oh dear, no, what? Bad. Naughty. My own fault. I should have been more specific. Only take Omni-pipes. There we go. Then grab the conveyor. There we are. Alright. I think that should be bloody awesome. But now I need a boat that'll bring Omni stones over here. Also need to stop having the Omni stones nicked for my research. Oh, but the air temple's so close. How close is it? Actually, don't even need any more Omni stones to finish the air temple. So, we're going to have the Omni stones delivered over here from now on. There we go. For now. Once we've got the air temple, which one's left after that? Earth temple, and then we can get to the Omni temple construction. And again, that is the last research I'm aware of. And yeah, Cataclysm is in constant development. And, you know, there are some people with that. There are some... There's always some frustrations when it might move away from something that you liked and towards something else, but it almost always is moving around. So if you're like me and just enjoy change, just for the sake of being able to test out different things, Cataclysm is amazing. But on the note of constant development, this game is as well, as it happens. This game has got a lot of development ongoing. How are we doing? I need a little bit more air mana. Did we just drop some off? I think we may have. Yes, we did. That means you can stop. That should be enough, and boom! There we go, air temple. Perfect. Can you go and grab all of those air crystals and deliver them back, please? You don't need them there. There we go. On that note, don't want the water crystals there either, actually. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of those. Womp. There we go. Right. Where's that caravan gone? It's just hiding underneath. I would like it if we could get the Earth Temple up and going, but it is going to take a long time to do that. But yeah, this game is constantly getting patched. This is technically still early access, but it is coming out into release, I think, like 6th of March. It's going to be at version 1. I could be getting that one confused. There's a lot of games that are coming out of early access right now, but I'm fairly certain this one is just on the edge of coming out of early access. Oh! Our first Omni Stone! Or rather, our first Omni Stone being delivered over here. This will be our first Omni-pipe. If I'm not deeply mistaken. No, we only need one. That is fantastic. There we go. Not that I'm going to be able to do anything with one Omni-pipe. But still, it's an achievement, damn it. There we go. And our first Omni-pipe has been delivered. Hooray! Super happy. From first, Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. It's a roguelike, which, well, as the name implies, it's about a cataclysm. But in one of my YouTube series, because I've got several of them now, I describe it as... How did I put it? It's not a cataclysm, it's all cataclysms. From deranged robots to psychic arachnids to mutant lab experiments, triffids, the blob, every kind of cataclysm you can imagine basically happened, and you're just trying to survive. There are other people trying to survive, but mostly they're going to try to survive by making you not survive and then running off with your gear. It isn't actually multiplayer, though there are certain versions that are in some very limited capacities. But you can sort of think like Project Zomboid, if you're familiar with that, only to the nth level. Heavy focus on crafting. Super heavy focus on crafting. And the vehicle crafting specifically is crazy. I mean, if you don't get distracted by trying to pimp your body out with cybernetics and or mutations, then you almost always end up spending most of your time in Cataclysm building your death wagon. And you can literally make things that are like several like city blocks wide, just rolling over the landscape, rolling over houses, because that's what you wanted to do. And then, you know, you get demolished by a tank bot. Bloody tank bots. Right. Is everything running okay down here? Yes, magic. Oh, what? That should not be there. Yoink. Why? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Put that back. There we go. Right. But we've got a barn full of mana bricks. That's good. How are we doing down here? We've got all Why are these? Oh, exactly the same bloody thing. I do it all. I'd be dangerous if I had a brain. Alright, let me get that set up so I'm only pulling out the strength skill books. Right, there we go. Right, what is happening here? Why are we not making more strength skill books? Too much basic mana. Okay, fair enough. Let's empty that out a little bit. There we are. Still a little bit more than I would like. There we go, that's a bit better. It's a much better ratio now. Okay. That should be okay. We should be producing a reasonable amount of strength skill books soon. That being said, we're kind of hovering there with the firepower. No, I think it's more or less okay. It should be enough. So hopefully that'll start helping. Oops. What am I holding on to? Nothing. Okay. How are we doing down here? Got 8 Omni-pipes at this point. In one of Sweet Orange Bunny's Cataclysm games, you took a shopping cart, stripped it down, mounted a 120mm auto-loading cannon onto it, a motor, solar panels, etc., and remote controls, so I could take out sniper turrets from a distance. That is amazing, actually. Well done. I approve of that. A lot. Yeah, it's just a free download. Like a lot of old, text-based, or rather ASCII-focused roguelikes. It's just open source. Though there is a lot of tiles set at this point, much like Dwarf Fortress. Very few people play it pure ASCII anymore. But yeah, there's so much you can do in that game. I've got an active 7 Days to Die series at the moment, and quite often I'm sat there like, oh man, if this was Cataclysm, I'd be doing this. If this was in Cataclysm, I would have to be worrying about this. It's kind of gets into your head a bit, in a good way. I want a few more houses. Let me pop 1 and 2 down here and upgrade these to level 4 and level 3, respectively. There we go. Nice. Alright, now, let's find a good candidate for an Omni-pipe. What would be a good candidate for an Omni-pipe, do you think? How many have I got? I've made you buy a lot of games, T Winter. I am sort of sorry, but not. I think it is actually technically part of my job to share games with people. I mean, it's not part of my job to get you to buy them, so you might have a point there, but I consider it me doing my job well if me playing the game does a good job of presenting its worthwhile points in order to pick it up. This looks like it's stalled. Oh, it almost certainly has, actually, because it's full of the barn there is full. Ooh, this would be probably a good spot for Omni-pipes. Yeah, Vorian is about to release. I'm really excited for that. They've done such a good job with that. The moment they added boarding, I was just thrilled. Absolutely thrilled with the boarding mechanic that was added. Because that was something that was kind of teased for so long. Right, okay, so Omni-pipe connectors. How about... What do I want to move around, though? See, this is the problem. There's so many things around that I could want to move. Trying to find a decent one. Well, I guess there's this spaghetti network of items down here. Could I put an Omni-pipe there and there? And connect an Omni-pipe up? Can't afford. Well, drat. I need 11. Alternatively, I could be a little bit more sneaky and do this and this. Marvelous. So now my grain is going underground. Now there's two advantages here. Is I don't need to get rid of the above ground one. I've simply doubled the throughput. That is glorious. But you can do all sorts of funky things with this. Let's get rid of those. What you could do instead is let's think. I mean, right now in here it's already working, so anything I do is kind of surplus to demand. Oh no, wait, this one's a good one. This one's quite a nice one, actually. This is a good example of something we could do with. I'm just going to allow the water ether to make his way across. And then I'm going to remove this, because honestly this place is a bit messy. Because there's so much going on. And if I could simply remove this out of the way. Damn it. Gonna have to dig that down a little bit deeper than I would have liked, but hold on. And now that the last sail just went out, that can all be gone. It's very convenient to delete things by selecting what it is you're deleting and then right-clicking instead of just holding down the delete item key. Because if you've got scaffolding selected and you start deleting with right-click, it'll only delete scaffolding. Unfortunately, paths are considered part of that, so it'll delete those too. But it won't delete scaffolding under something that has to have scaffolding under it for it to exist. So, for example, I wasn't deleting the scaffolding from under my conveyors. Makes it really, really convenient. Right, so this will genuinely be useful in a number of ways. Like, I could just straight up move an Omni-pipe all the way across there, which would be nice. It would clean up the area a little bit. Or I could do this. So, Omni-pipe. There we are. Now that there is a connector to the real world from the underground. And I'm going to just go pop. No, damn it. Don't want. Damn it. There we go. Now, I should be able to go back into the Omni-pipe display, but it's not letting me. Am I in the Omni-pipe display right now? Oh dear. Good Build pipes. Omni-pipe. Display. No, I think... Me faffing around with the Omni-pipe there is kind of balked it. Okay, let's delete that and see if I can get back to it. There we go. That was a bit worrying. Right, let's remove that then. Let's take the Omni-pipe in a different direction then. Let's just pop it over here. And then put the connector down. Well, actually, it's still going to be next to a factory. Okay, well, take it down here. Right in the middle of the road. Right, there instead then. Pop in the Omni connector. Go up. I should be able to drop that down. There we go. Now with that there, I should be able to build an Omni-pipe all the way up here. If I've got enough to build it. Oh, I don't. Oh, balls. Don't have quite enough. But what I was going to try and demonstrate is you can have the pipes just moving out and around in the world. Much as I've got over here with the steam pipes. And this one is coming up through a steam connector, much as that one will work. It links this to the steam grid. So if I go to the steam pipe display, I've got that up at the moment, so it's not going to let me. Okay, I'll get rid of it first then. Can I get that? There we go. No, not going to let me get rid of it. Nice, scoundrel. I'll grab Omni-pipes. Nope. Omni connectors, maybe. It seems that has bugged. I had a bug in the last stream as well, unfortunately. There we go. Gotcha. Right, I should be able to show you the Steam display now. But this is like a certain... If you imagine that there's like an underground at certain Z levels, well, the Steam exists on one, mana pipes on another, Omni pipes on a third, and they don't interact. But on this, it's just a 2D plane, so things will cross over. But if you want to allow a pipe to basically go over or under, then you can have the pipe come out into the three-dimensional world via a connector, which I did over here. Because I can't connect to these... kitchens, because we're underground here, so only the buildings with the white overlay I can connect to because they're touching the ground. And over here, for example, you'll notice that most of them have got grids. The grid is every tile that's on solid ground that you can basically drill up and straight into the building from. Here, the only tile that this building is on solid ground is that one tile there. The rest of it is built on a kind of a pier. So over here, since all of this is built on a pier, I had to have a different solution. So I had the steam pipe come out of the ground there, and I built an actual piece of piping up and around, connected into the kitchen, got a steam pipe from there, connected into the other kitchen, so I spread around the steam network. Omni-pipes will allow me to do that, and one of their big advantages, I guess you could say, is that whereas to move up elevations, I need a slope for conveyor belts or indeed for chutes. I mean, chutes can't go up, they can go down because they're gravity fed, whereas conveyor belts are, actually pulling things around. But the pipes can just go straight up. You can see it a little bit with the mana pipes over here. These aren't actual crystals, they represent energy, hence the lightning bolt symbol. But this is air crystal energy, this is fire crystal energy, so on and so forth. But the Omni pipes allow items to move much like this, so they can go up or down just straight away. It's kind of, you can imagine like an item vacuum tube. Oh, we've got loads of Omni stones over here, so what's the problem? Fuel? What? Why is there a problem with fuel? You're literally being fed magma. Are we genuinely just waiting? Oh my goodness. How frustrating. Okay. We need a tad bit more red mana over here, apparently. Magma underflow, indeed. What I could do is hook up some of the red mana from over here, because we've got a lot of red mana. So, I think I shall. Whoop, 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 whoop. Just gonna let a bit of it in, and then whop. Should be enough to run the system. Probably a bit too much, actually. But considering how much fuel I need, having that is just going to keep things moving. There we go. Because once there was fuel there, the mana connected to the Magic Forge started using fire energy because I added a booster to it. Now, there's a couple of different ways that this all works. Some things will consume energy, and when they do that, they'll just drain the crystal. But the crystal can be sent off to one of these buildings, which can recharge the energy in the crystal, which is great. It costs a few coins to do, but it'll give you back a fully charged crystal, and that can go back into the network, so it's effectively renewable, just for the sake of a few yellow coins, which are the easiest to get, because you tend to get yellow coins for food. I am stupendously rich in that regard, and it's been like that since the beginning of the game. Once you've got any kind of food going, you're just going to keep getting it. You have to try very hard to make yourself yellow coin broke. But some processes actually consume the crystals themselves. For example, this. It needs an air crystal, and it uses it up in order to make a magic conveyor belt. So I'm having to deliver those regularly and make more regularly. Now, they're not cheap to make. They're not crazy expensive either, but each one of these costs 40 yellow coins. So you make a lot of them, it starts to impact things. But again, at this point, I don't think I can possibly go broke with yellow coins, because I'm just, as you can see, everyone is buying food all the time. It's great. I'm not even keeping them hungry. They're just constantly, they're ravenous, really. There's different types of food as well, but different sorts of resources might get you different things. Most foods will get you yellow coins, but some, for example, the berry cake will get you purple coins. Most hardware will get you red coins, but some, for example, the mana brick will get you yellow coins. Most things in the apothecary will get you blue coins, but herbs, they'll get you yellow coins because they're a fairly easy thing to make. And fire ether will get you red coins. Yeah, air ether will get you yellow. Water ether will get you blue. And also elixir will get you blue. And earth ether will get you purple coins. Purple coins are by far the harder to get. And then speciality goods. Now this is mostly magical stuff. So a magic cloak, which you can make just from a regular cloak, which you would otherwise have sold for red coins, but you can get purple coins for it instead. Most of the jewelry will give you the correct amount of, give you coins of its element type. So fire for red, water for blue. You know, there isn't an air crystal in this, but again, you know, it's made of gold, so it's gold coins. And likewise with the spell books. Oh, actually, we've got 20 earth mana in there. How are we doing for earth mana? We're not doing too badly for earth mana, actually. We're getting there, in fact. Slowly getting there. One problem with the boats, though, is they're bloody amazingly good at carrying cargo. As a consequence, they can kind of rob you of all of your materials every time they stop to grab some. This might be a candidate for a Earth Shrine, by the way. Because this place is going through its trees really fast. Alright, good sleep. It's 9 hours. We're going to burn out on the first stream back from the break. Yeah, you might be right there, but I'm pretty happy with where we are right now. We've got the Omni tubes. We've got 15 more. I'll go ahead and I'll hook that up the way I was trying to hook it up, just to see how they work, because that's one of the things that I haven't played with before in this build. We'll pop that there, and I guess we could pop it over here. Or in fact, we could pop it over there, or maybe we can just connect it up to the building itself directly. That might be the better way to do it. Right, let's change my angle so I'm drawing on this plane. There we are. There's the water ether. Straight up. Can I afford this? Just. Not quite enough yet to be able to finish this off, but that is a lot nicer looking than the massive conveyor belt that was going straight across there. Now, you can't typically connect straight into the top of a building, but in many cases you can connect into the side of it. So we'll bring this to, oh, well, I mean, I don't want to connect into that side of it, no. Let's try to connect into this side of it. Let's get that in the right angle. Ah! The UI for building in 3D is a little bit wonky. There we go. Just need a few more Omni-pipes and then I can connect it up down there. In fact, I'll take it down one more level before I do that. But I think at that point, I'll consider this more or less one. If there is a great desire to see the Omni Temple, which is, again, something I haven't played with, but I'm all but certain of its effect. It's a temple that can be used to make any kind of mana crystal, I would assume. Then we could have another short stream. But I'm pretty happy with where we managed to get to. We didn't even use half of the houses. Well, we used a little bit over half. But we're almost 60% of the houses that we have available to us. But we're doing pretty amazingly well for ourselves. I'm not sure if our red coins have been restored yet or not. We'll have to see. Let's have a look. 11069. 11067. Kinda? Very slightly. But it shouldn't be too hard for us to pull that back up and actually get that going again. But for the most part, I'm really, really happy with what we managed to get done. Just need a couple more Omni-pipes to get that all done. What is the thing that's holding us up, though? It is fuel still. You're joking me. Why? Why you gotta do me like this? And I could stick a little bit more fire mana in here, but oh, maybe I should. Alright. Let's get that much. That'll do. And then get rid of all of that. What on earth did I just link to? It was a well. But there we go. We should have a reasonable flow of fuel into this. I'm kind of shocked that lava, the best form of fuel, is being used up so much. But then that uses 20 fuel by itself. And I believe that a bucket of magma is only 8 units of fuel. So yeah, fair enough. Magic conveyors use 10 as well, so I shouldn't be that surprised. I shouldn't be that surprised. And the forge is going to be doing amazingly well because it barely needs any fuel. One bucket will do 4 iron plates worth. But we do need to have constant flow of red mana in there to keep that going. In fact, I may even hook up a little bit more. By a little bit, I mean quite a lot more. Bonk. At some point, I'm going to need to deliver more red mana over here, though. Because that's going a bit rough. Bartleby! Hey, mate. Thank you very much for the Switch Prime. Just stopping in to say hi. As we were talking about Cataclysm earlier, another Cataclysm player, I haven't seen you stream it in a little bit, but I thoroughly enjoyed your streams back when you were when I caught them. I don't know if it's just the case that I've had bad timing of late. The Omni Temple is a building that lets you earn stars in exchange for sellable goods. These stars are used at a school for infinite researches. The recipe to craft stars changes each 100th time. Oh, so it is completely not what I thought. Wow. Okay. That is moderately interesting to me. I may have to do another stream just to find out what that is then. Oof. Okay, well, I was pretty certain that this was going to be the last stream, but maybe we're going to have to squeeze in one final stream just to find out exactly what the Omni Temple feels like and how it changes the game. But again, infinite researches, probably nothing we really need. At this point, the towns are not going to get much bigger. Maybe if I do stream, I'll set up another little town over here, but it's still very much a maybe. Do let me know if you're interested in it, possibly on the stream VODs when I upload them to YouTube. If you want to leave comments and be my guest, I would appreciate it. But I think that's going to be where we wrap things up. Let's have a look at how many Omni-pipes we have, because if we got enough, then I would very much... Or 20. Yeah, we can finish the little Omni-pipe project that I had, and then we're going to call it quits for now. All right, let's grab you. Nope. There we are. And this should connect up, I would hope. Pump. And there we go. Now, I could have just had that go all the way across underground and connect. But, you get a little bit of visuals to it. And you can see the items moving through the network. And as you can see, they're moving actually quite fast. I would say that is as fast as a magic conveyor can move them. So very high throughput. My god, is it ever going to stop just pouring them in? How many ether bottles can this town consume? Oh no, it stopped. Oh, my goodness. I was a little bit worried someone's going to have an accident. There you go. You could consume the surplus of resources that are produced in the Omni-pipe production chain. Probably, yeah. We have got a lot of things over here. But that's going to be it for me for tonight. I hope you've all enjoyed, though. I've had a great deal of fun setting up the, what may be a new part of the town network. Maybe it's going to be the third tiny mini town just dedicated to the Omni Temple. Who knows? We'll have to see. But do let me know if you're interested in seeing any more. But for the time being, this is more or less a win. I would say that we've basically won the game at this point. We could just keep going around with Omni Stones and upgrading things. And it may be interesting to see exactly what the game has to offer with the Omni Temple. But until next stream, if there is a next stream, take care, everyone.